Hi, guys. This is Michelle,
And I'm Lexi.
and you're listening to Book to the Couch.
So grab a snack, get cozy, and meet us on the couch.
I do want to say in advance, I apologize a little bit if there's any sound difference. We are recording in a different location than we normally record. We are outside in a car.
Which is a little odd. We're normally on our couch, but
Today, we're taking place in the back seat of a car while we run some errands.
yep.
But we figured it'd be a perfect time to go over sports romance. All the sports are kicking off. Summer is finally hitting.
Yep.
It's
Finally
starting to
here.
feel. It's starting to actually feel like summer.
Oh yeah, the hot weather, everything. Yep. It's here.
I can no longer wear a sweater outside. But to get into today's episode, figured to hit us with some icebreaker questions, give a little bit of an intro. Today is our sports episode.
Yeah.
We're just kind of going to go over sports romance as a genre and the micro tropes within and like our favorites. I'm not really going to delve too heavily into books. That'll be later in the month when we actually read more sports romances because we
Yeah.
have not managed to get through a whole lot of like our sports romances. We have a pretty giant
We have a list.
we have a list. We have a pretty giant list of things to get through. Although I am making some pretty good headway. I am a little gremlin and reading 4 different things at once.
God, I
I
swear I
don't
wish I
ask me
could do
how.
that.
Like I did something the other day where I just did like 30-minute increments, so 2-hour span, and read each book in 30-minute
Oh my
increments.
god, I
It
could
was
not do that. I wish I
it was rough,
could. I wish my brain was like wired like that.
especially because I was switching genres.
Oh
But
my god.
I'll let you ask the first question.
All right. What sport did you grow up watching or playing?
So I played football for about a year, or yeah, a year.
Which is so badass. Cause
Um,
like, come on now, a woman playing football.
Tackle football, no flag football. I was playing with boys.
Hell yeah, that's so badass. I love that.
But I also grew up watching a lot of football. I'm in the South, of course I did.
Yeah.
What sports did you grow up watching or playing?
So actually, I went out for basketball. Didn't make the team because I was too short at the time, which is pretty ironic because I'm not short now.
You're the tallest one of our group.
And I did color guard. A lot of people don't consider that a sport, but we conditioned almost as much as football players did.
I would believe it.
We had to have strength because we were tossing flags, weighted flags, rifles, all of that mess.
Yeah, you had to have upper body strength and really good
Yeah, and
foot
stamina
coordination.
and actually like foot coordination too because we were also dancing. So I did that. And I grew up watching probably football. It's the biggest one here.
It's the South.
um and I watched basketball a little bit. I'm a fan of basketball.
I also grew up watching basketball too. My dad is very obsessed with. He's got 2 seasons: football and basketball.
Yeah.
Like, and when football's not playing, he's watching basketball, and when basketball's not playing, he's watching football. And if neither of them are playing, he's watching reruns of either or. And I wish I was joking.
My dad
Man loves
actually
sports.
used to be obsessed with the Steelers, so
He
that was
occasionally watches golf too.
oh my gosh, that's such a sorry y'all, but that's such a boring sport. Like, what are you're watching people just like, yeah, literally barely even doing anything. Like they're just standing there hitting a ball. I
You
mean,
can't even be loud.
yeah.
I need a sport where I can hoot and holler. I need to be obnoxious.
All right. So our next question: would you ever date a pro athlete? Yay or hard pass?
That's gonna be a pass for me, Chief.
What?
Too much spotlight.
Yeah.
Everybody all up in your business, and also it doesn't seem like the lifestyle. They're gone too much.
True.
And growing up with like my mom always gone because of the military, yeah, no, I wouldn't want that as a partner. I'm kind of clingy.
I can respect that.
I
Yeah.
miss Daniel when he's at work for more than 8 hours. Okay, like
Yeah, no, I get
I will
that.
admit I'm a little clingy when it comes to him. That man's my best friend, so that makes sense.
I would. 100%. I've
I
actually,
believe that.
I have spoken to some. I've talked to some. Um, they are very out there with different things, I will say.
One thing I will give them is they're dedicated
Oh yeah, for sure.
because
And loyal.
they
Maybe to
stuck
the
to a
sport
sport and like
their whole
conditioned,
life. Yeah.
trained for it. Everything that they need to do, they do for it.
Yeah, but yeah, 100%. I would. I the spotlight thing doesn't bother me. I would just go with them wherever they went and cling to them. I don't.
I don't like flying. That's my other issue. They will require me to be on a freaking plane too much. And while I like planes and totally don't mind watching documentaries about planes, I don't want to ever really get on one unless I absolutely have to.
I've never flown before, but I will soon. I'm not. I don't know. Give me a Xanax. Knock me out. Like
I had to give
something.
the cats anxiety meds when we flew. Surprised I didn't get any for myself. I was so busy trying to plan everybody else's like anxiety
Yeah.
about it that I didn't even think of mine until the day of, and I was like, oh boy,
I don't know. I feel like
I'm
once
gonna
I
have to take a
actually
nap.
like get in the plane, I'll be okay. But like the lead up and like thinking about it, because like I've been to so many like the airport here, I've been to it so many times, it really doesn't bother me anymore. But the first time I did, it gave me so much fucking anxiety.
Totally not healthy way to do it. So don't take my advice when I say this. I am saying this 100% as a joke. But what you should do, just do what I do and just stay out for like the last like 36 to 24 hours. Or what I did before moving here is 48 hours, absolutely no sleep. So that way when I got on the plane
You
and
just
I
slept the
just
whole
slept.
time.
So like, I
Didn't
wouldn't
feel
have
the turbulence, nothing.
if the plane went down, I would have never noticed and I would have never been the wiser. I was unconscious to the planet. I'm pretty sure my husband said I snored at some point.
I mean, if it's comfy, cozy, I'm
I had
falling
a neck
asleep.
pillow. I had it all worked out. I was like, I packed in my carry-on a blanket and my neck pillow.
Oh,
So like
yeah.
I was
Oh,
set to
yeah.
go. Like and
I
it was one of those fancy memory foam ones. So it was
Oh
just
yeah,
I was just
knocked the
out.
fuck out.
And I also had my husband's shoulder. So yeah, it was a really comfortable plane ride.
All
But
right,
on to the main segment of this episode. We got a little
main
sidetracked.
topic.
Why we love sports romances.
Oh, they are something else. Okay, so I'm
They're
not gonna
definitely a guilty
lie.
pleasure. They're like an indulgence. They're like a very rich chocolate chip cookie or like chocolate
Yes.
cake that you have every once in a while.
Yeah.
But when you have it, you have the whole damn thing. So like I get it when I do get into sports romances or I'm in my sports romance kick, I'm in it. Like it's all
I'm
I'm
not gonna
reading.
lie. I used to not read sports romances at all. Like I used to not like them just because, like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about this, but like sometimes the relationship outshined the sports aspect of it, or the sports outshined the romance. There was never like a balance between
it's really
them.
hard to find a good balance. Like I'm not really into a lot of them because it feels like the only idea that the only reason that it makes it a sports romance is because he just so happens to be an athlete.
Yeah,
We get no information, no insider as to like what it takes for him to be an
yeah.
athlete, what he does, what he goes through, like events and like
Like we don't
I don't
see.
need a whole play by play of like how it goes, but like I want at least
Yeah, we
one
don't have.
scene where like she's watching him play hockey and
Yeah,
he gets like
there's not
and
a
there's a
lot.
big ass brawl and she's freaked out because there's a brawl.
That's.
You guys are like, why are you
Oh
guys
my
so violent?
god.
It's hockey.
Yes.
It's hockey.
Honestly, hockey is my favorite to
You
read.
leave. Oh yes, that or baseball. I don't know what it is.
Baseball's pretty good too.
I've found some really good like baseball ones.
You need to read Play Along by Liz Tomford.
It's on my list.
So good.
It's on my
It's
list.
a very summer read too because it takes place in the summertime, so you need to definitely read it. It's so good. But I don't know. I think
It's in my Kindle.
like I said, like I think like there's just not a lot of books that have balance. My first into sports romances was of course the Off-Campus series, which y'all I actually auditioned for Hannah, and Obviously, I didn't get it because I wouldn't be here right now if I got it. But it was such a fun
Oh, you ditch me?
experience. No, you'd come with me, duh. You'd have to. I'd be gone. I would have been gone for like 6 months. There's no
Oh,
way.
imagine trying to record this over Zoom. Welcome to our Zoom podcast.
But yeah, no, I
In 6
auditioned.
months, it'll be good.
It was a fun experience, and I actually really enjoyed reading all of those books. However, they were kind of boring in some parts, to be honest. Like I said, sports really they have to grab my attention.
Some of them are unnecessarily long.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need 400 pages of a sports romance.
I also don't
300's
need like 6 books of the same people either.
like, it's okay if like it's a group, like it happens to center around a team and it's taking place around different couples and they intersect. But if it's too heavy of like it feels like it's just an add-on story that just so happens to be about another couple.
Yeah, there's not like any progression for the characters. It's just like add-ons. Like, no, I don't like that. But the Windy City series with Play Along, I am gonna read Mile High actually next because that's a basketball one, and it is actually pretty decent about that.
All right, let's get into these questions that we have for ourselves. As to just in general about like sports romance in a whole. You actually brought up this one, so I don't think we're gonna have to go over it. It's, did the sports subplot enhance the romance or distract from it?
Yeah.
And it really depends on how it is written.
Yep.
Like it is very hard and difficult to find that balance. So like, but I like them all. There's only been a handful of them that I've disliked, and most of them I've ended up only disliking because they were just too long. And
Yeah.
that was my only gripe about it. Is like the story and everything like was nice, but like it was just too long for my taste.
Like we don't need a 400, 500 almost page book of a
Like I
sports
said,
romance.
300 pages is perfect.
Yeah.
Like 350, absolutely at max. I will take 400 if the fucking story is absolutely popping.
Next question, were the sports scenes exciting or did you skim through them for the romance?
I like the sports scenes.
I do too. I
especially
love it.
if they're well written.
I love. Okay, so I'm going to bring up One Tree Hill because that was one of the shows that introduced me to the romance sports genre, to be honest, because that's like basketball. The show is primarily basketball with just a little bit of romance tossed in. And then as they like get older, as everything progresses, basketball gets to be like, a little bit less, but it's still always there. And I think that for me, one of the most exciting scenes of that whole entire show was when they won the state championship. And that was because they were actually playing, they were actually all together, like the team was there, the cheerleaders were there, everyone was there, and they were actually like playing basketball, and it wasn't just like talked about. You could actually see them win it and like shoot the last winning shot, which literally the most amazing TV show scene I've ever seen ever. And I think it's because of like the sports aspect of it.
So what got me heavily into sports romance as a genre is 100% Save the Last Dance. That movie.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've not seen that in so long though.
Or Step It Up, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But also, let's be fair. Let's be truly honest with ourselves. It was High School Musical. It was High School Musical for both of us.
Yeah.
It was Troy.
Oh,
Troy's what started
Troy
us
Bolton.
on this. Troy's what started us all on this long journey.
But see, another thing is they don't really do a whole lot of other sports minus basketball in romances. There's like not a lot of like baseball, or now there's a lot of hockey.
There's a ton of hockey now.
And there didn't used to be. It used to be just primarily basketball.
I feel like I was seeing a lot of like football and basketball like a few years ago, and then of course hockey really started to pop off, which I mean,
can't blame him.
Can't blame them. It's a good
hockey is it's a good sport. It's a good sport.
It is a really good sport. It's also a good sport to watch. The fans are fun.
Yeah. Okay. You want to read the next one?
How well was the sport integrated into the plot, or was it central, or was it just a backdrop? This again brings me into the whole discussion where I brought up where they kind of the only reason that it's a sports romance is because he happens to be an athlete.
Yeah.
They don't go into any other details about like what he does. Like we don't get any sports
Like
romance
preparation
scene.
for his games.
We don't get a
or-
locker room scene, which is
No.
a shame. I need
a good locker room scene.
like he's icing after a hard game. Like he got
Oh my gosh.
wiped out in like a good hit, and like he's ice in an ice bath,
I need that.
towel over his eyes. I need it. She walks in to check on him, give him some icy hot.
But yeah, I think like I don't know, if it's a good book, it's going to be both romance and sports at the same time. Like they're going to have it both. Like it's going to be 50-50 if it's actually like super good.
Mhm.
But I don't want a book that has like a sports book that has too much sports or a book that has too much romance. I want one that has like equally good amounts.
That's also why I like the whole like if somehow within the sports romance they intertwine. Like if it's an athlete and his publicist, or like an athlete and the coach's daughter, like
Yeah.
something, which we'll get into the tropes part of sports romances and our favorite tropes within them.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell, it's always going to be the brother's best friend.
I agree, yeah. All right. What would the soundtrack to a sports romance look like? Do any songs come to your mind? Yeah, Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy. Love that song. It is so universal, and it was used in so many like shows when we were growing up that it really, I don't know, it's just, I love it.
I'm blanking on the title of the song, but it's from the same album by Fall Out Boy.
Is it Dance Dance?
I'm pretty sure it's Save Rock and Roll.
Yes. Yeah, no, Fall Out Boy is just,
Any Fall Out Boy song, honestly.
or Panic at the Disco, I feel.
Old Panic at the Disco.
Yeah. I feel like those two are like really good like soundtracks.
Or
for
Linkin
sports.
Park. Anything Linkin Park.
Yes,
like,
Linkin Park too.
You need a little bit of heavy, depending on what type. I like if it's like, martial arts,
Yeah.
fighting. I'm talking. You need heavy metal. You
Yeah.
need old
Like
timey
Metallica,
dad rock, like oldies,
Led
but like heavily,
Zeppelin, like yeah.
like good fighter songs. But it also like, and if you're doing like car racing, you definitely need some like Latin music, like dubstep,
Mhm.
something
Yep.
something that gives you the zoomies.
Yeah.
I can't listen to a dubstep song and not get like
The feel of
subsequential-
wanting to like just run
Run.
around with my head cut off. Yeah.
I'm like a dog, I swear.
Okay. Which sport works best for romance stories and why? I'm not sure.
They all have their perks. Some of them are a little bit more complicated than others,
Yeah.
and there definitely has to be a niche for it.
Yeah. I think the least, I know we didn't say that, the least for me is soccer. I've tried to
Yeah.
read like 2 soccer romances and could not get into it. And it's not because like I don't understand like the sports
It's just
talk.
not your sport.
It's just not like, I don't know, it's just not that great. Like, and I mean, not saying that like soccer romances suck. I'm just saying they're not for me specifically.
The only soccer romances that I think I've read and actually like thoroughly enjoyed, they always end up being like their ex like soccer players and they're coaching a team together or some crap.
Oh, yeah.
I love that trope.
Yeah, same.
Because one's always got like some super sad backstory and the other one's like, I just retired because I was bored. I just got tired of playing.
I think football is the best in my opinion. It's
I don't know.
so-
I'm a diehard baseball romance girly. Like I've
only
not
read
found,
one.
I've not found one that I've disliked.
I've
like,
only read
and I've
one,
read a
so I
ton.
need to read some more to like get my
least
other
favorite
opinions.
is probably football, but that's because I haven't found one that I've really thoroughly enjoyed. But
Yeah.
I am gonna give the one that you recommended a try.
Yeah.
Because that one sounded actually pretty good.
It was very good. It was literally almost a 5-star read. It was like 4.5 for me. We're talking about The Hookup, you guys, by the way. I'm not sure who it's by. I think her name is Kate something. I can't remember. But it was written like a really long time ago, and it recently got like revamped, and like more
Huh.
stuff was added to it. And it was one of my favorite football reads. Like, but yeah, I think football for me is probably the best for romance, just because there's so much like around football, especially in the South. Like, it's such a huge sport. I grew up with it. I literally was on like a, my high school was just nothing but football, and like it's just there.
Mhm.
Football's the best. All
Getting
right.
into the micro tropes of sports romances.
Yes.
Hot jocks and game winning tropes. What is your favorite trope within a sports romance? I know I mentioned it, but it's God, it's a tie for me, in all honesty. It's a tie between coach's daughter and brother's best friend.
I
Although
love
I eat a brother's best friend up too because it's always
yes.
like fake dating and secret dating all in one. So it's
I love the brother's best friend trope, but I honestly really love a physical therapist, like with the team, like their team, like physical therapist, when they get injured or something and they get hurt, and then like she is like the main female character is like the physical therapist that helps the injured. I love that trope so much.
oh my god, I'm gonna have to find it after we're done recording. But I found one where she is a physical therapist and he's a retired he can't play anymore. He got seriously injured. I'm pretty sure he's a I can talk. I swear, a boxer.
Wait. Oh my god, that sounds so good. You don't see very many books
It's a
with MMA fighters and stuff like that.
it sounds really good. It sounded really good. I'm pretty sure I have it in my Kindle. I guess I'll have to find it after we're done recording because I'm gonna have to open up like each individual book
Yeah.
and see if it's the right one. Like, is this the one I'm thinking of? No.
I
Is
also
this the
really
one?
like the trope of the girl being like the water girl for the team, and like the star quarterback or whatever, like, starts hanging out with her or something like that. Like, I love that trope also.
I'm telling you, the nerd and the jock trope for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I eat it up all the time.
But our favorite tropes in sports romance genres, we just kind of went over that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, of
all
course, you
right.
can't go wrong with a teammate sibling, like, because you're with these guys and training with these guys and probably working with these guys for long periods of time.
Yeah.
You're with each other all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So to be
I don't
dating
see
the
yeah.
sister, God.
Um our top sports romance reads.
It's the bromance book club for me. At least the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. I really should have like looked through my old list of all of my like old sports reads.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the ones that I've read always end up having either accidental pregnancy or a surprise baby in them. I don't know how that
I
ends up
hate that
happening,
trope so much.
but it's such a popular trope within the sports romance. And I'm not like I don't hate it, but like sometimes it's just not what I want. Like
Yeah, like it I mean, I don't know
because
why they do that, especially at the end of books too. Like, the whole book can be so good, and then they'll have like the surprise like pregnancy at the end, and then it's like, oh, like,
I'm fine if it's like years in the future and it's like, 5 years later, epilogue. Like, oh, yay.
yeah, that's fine, but like in the actual end of the story,
Because
and
it's always like months later
yeah,
or
it
weeks.
just I
It's
don't
like, it doesn't make sense.
no, I don't like the accidental pregnancy trope. Mine is honestly the series that has Icebreaker and Daydream and Wildfire in it. I don't remember the name of that series right now, but Daydream was so good. It was so well written, and like, he's neurodivergent but also a hockey player, and I love that so much because he like had the same characteristics of someone with severe ADHD and also like OCD, and it was very well written and like very well represented in that book. And there's also really not a lot of books that you see that in where it's actually written very well enough to where you can relate a lot. But I love that series, honestly.
I just remembered one that I completely forgot about, and I told you about it. It was a hockey one that I had finished at random. I just like randomly picked this one up. Um, Ended up loving it. Offside by Avery Keelan.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that
That
one.
one was really good. That one had a really good balance, in my opinion, of sports and romance. It was like an equal balance. Like it felt like we were getting a nice perspective into like what it was like for him to be an athlete,
Yeah.
but also like the romance was separate. Like
See,
it was a nice.
that's why I like Daydream so much, because that's kind of like you got a nice balance between, and you also got to see him like prepping himself for like one of the hockey games because he was like really nervous. He was taking over captaincy, and like you actually were like in his head at that time, like going through the motions with the character.
Oh, if it's a dual perspective
Yeah.
sports romance, I really fucking eat that.
Yeah,
like
same. You eat that sheet up.
I eat that sheet up. That is now the new catchphrase. Eat that sheet up.
Eat that sheet up.
Watch out for stickers soon.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, sports is a very broad topic for a lot of people.
Mhm.
And I mean, you have to, I think romance books has actually gotten women more into sports, like wanting to watch it and like wanting to be a part of it.
It's gotten me to watch baseball on a more regular basis.
I mean,
I also now regularly watch hockey.
I was about to
regular
say,
basis.
I've actually watched a few hockey games because of the fact that I was reading the off-campus series and the other one.
Yeah, when I read the off-campus series, the first thing I did was buy hockey tickets
Yeah.
to like a local hockey game.
I've actually never been, but I've always wanted to because
Is there hockey down here?
Yeah, they're called the Hurricanes, the Carolina Hurricanes. And
I'll have to look and see if I can get us tickets.
Yes.
Research.
Yeah, that would be so fun. But actually, my best friend's mom actually was going to take us to a hockey game a couple years ago, and then we didn't end up going. But yeah, they're called the Carolina Hurricanes, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that their colors are red and white also. I could be wrong about that, but I know we have a hockey game or hockey team. Don't know why we're called the Hurricanes, but
Yeah, Carolina Hurricanes, red and black.
Oh, red and black.
Red, black, and white.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, so I do know what I was talking about a little bit. But yeah, I think a hockey game would be really fun because I've never been to one and I've always wanted to. I feel like with you being in Alaska, it was such a big like sport.
Mm-hmm.
And here, that's not
Especially in
really
the winter.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, our biggest sport here is like football. The Carolina Panthers. But
Throwing me back to A and B days. Didn't really think this was going to be a super big, like, long episode. But we kind of wanted just to go over sports in general before we really kind of go over
like what we're actually reading
for our sports romance.
Because we're definitely going to throw in some F1, some street racing, some golf, because I mean, I know I was just bagging on it, but we're going to be reading a summer romance that's kind of taking place at like a golf course with like the country club and stuff like that.
Hopefully
so
some golfing scenes.
Yeah.
I'm talking like he shows her how to putt.
Basketball, definitely some hockey. We might even have to do like a hockey month, like in the winter months or something, or like a hockey week where we actually go to like a hockey game and do some like research about it.
Read like
for like the
top
Cowboy
two,
month, like
like-
we're doing.
like top 2 like hockey romances of all time.
Yeah, that would be fun to do. So we're definitely going to go over like a bunch of different sports, probably.
And if you have any ideas or have any sport recommendations, like from really obscure ones, like you have a tennis one that you want to recommend us, send it our way, because
A little challengers action.
I am definitely like trying to find like the more obscure ones. Like I want to read like the
Like
ones
I've
that
seen
aren't.
a rugby.
Oh, I've read a couple of rugby ones.
I've not read one, but I've seen that people actually write them.
I've been to
Or
a
like
couple of rugby
lacrosse.
I've read a couple of rugby. I've been to a couple of rugby matches. They were women's rugby matches.
Or
They were rugby
the-
matches.
What is that other sport that's like football, but it's not? It's like in the UK. It's not soccer. they have a version of football that is not called football. Do you know what I'm talking
Cricket?
about? Possibly?
It's the one with the weird flat paddles?
Maybe. Okay, let me just say the one sport that we will not be doing anything about is pickleball. I do not like pickleball.
I have some horror stories from pickleball.
I do not like pickleball, and I don't know why people waste their time to actually play. Sorry, but it just seems so boring. It's like table tennis, but like without a table.
I feel like there'd be a very good like table tennis romance.
Okay, so it's cricket. Yeah, you were right.
And that is from Watching Bluey. Sports, sports, sports.
All right. Well, I actually think that this concludes our sports episode. We will definitely go into depth when we get more sports reads done.
We'll do a more in-depth, like, deep dive, and we'll probably go back over these questions alongside the books as we're going over them.
Yeah.
I think after the Cowboy month, we were gonna do a whole like complete like summer recap and do short little like informational little reviews about all the books that we managed to actually read.
Yeah.
Also do like a little bit of comparative contrast of like what did we actually manage to read in this summer, like off of our list, and how far did we actually like stray. Like,
yeah.
did we stick to the plan or did we
Probably
completely
not
go off
going to
the
stick
rails?
to the plan, to be honest, but it's
I'm
okay.
already going off the plan.
I can't. I just keep finding books that I think is like, oh my god, this is so summer related. Let
I
me
found a
read this.
Zookeeper one. Are you kidding me? I had to. I was like, oh yes.
But alrighty, we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, beautiful people. If you enjoy this episode and want to see more from us, give a like and a follow on our socials. And if you want to listen to more, find us on Spotify and YouTube.